I just started using it, and my drug of choice was like anything to really take me outside of myself, because like I had a lot of issues before I even started using, right? Like one of the biggest issues I had was my father, because like my father, he never did anything with me. My father never took me anywhere. He never told me he loved me. He never asked me any questions. How was I doing in school? He never came to none of my track meets. The guy, his friends used to tell him, you need to go up there and see your son. Your son is nice and all of that stuff. And my father was an alcoholic, but at that age, I didn't understand that, right? And it got to the point to where like I used to do stuff and get in trouble just so my father would beat me. And I remember like going breaking into parking meters, and I got caught. And at that time, the cops that was in our town, everybody knew everybody. All the parents went to the same church. The cops knew everybody. And instead of him taking me down to the police headquarters, he brought me home, told my father what was going on, right? And I'm thinking my father's finally going to beat me. And my father took off his belt and handed it to the cop and told the cop, he said, you caught him, you beat him. And like I had a lot of abandoned issues, like, when we used to have our sports dinners at school, I used to be so embarrassed because like everybody else father would be sitting behind them, and my would be standing behind them, and my mother would be standing behind me, and like I was so embarrassed about that. I mean, they used to tease me about my father, your father down there, getting drunk and all type of stuff. So like way before I even started using, I had a lot of issues, right? So when I started using, what I started finding out, when I would use, it was suppress all of that stuff, and I wouldn't think about it. I wouldn't think about it. And then I remember like in 19 my brother, which is 2 years older than me, he would be 69 if he was still living. Um, he got locked up. He went to jail. He came home, and he got clean, and he started going to meetings. And I remember he used to come to the house, and he used to tell me that I was an addict, and I used to argue with him. I ain't no addict. I ain't this and I ain't that. And I had a cousin that had a lot of years clean. Then both of them started coming over, and they would just sit there. And I remember I used to get mad at them because like they were slowing me up from getting high. Because when they were sitting there, I wouldn't get high in front of them.